Chasing a woman will never help you get her. Instead, it's gonna do the opposite. She is going to be repelled by you. And I know that sounds backwards to a lot of you because everything in movies and everything we grew up watching tells us the opposite. The guy chases, he doesn't give up, he shows up with flowers outside her window, and finally, she falls for him. And yeah, that works in movies, but we are not living in a movie. The sooner you unlearn that, the better off you're gonna be. This is related to the last video I made about having crushes. So we all know about hypergamy. 80% of the girls want the top 10% of men. Yeah, I know. The dating market in 2026 is cooked. It's not some conspiracy theory, it's just how female attraction naturally leans. Women are wired to go for the guys who seem the most valuable, the most in demand, and the hardest to get. That's just biology mixed with modern dating apps, making it way easier to see just how many options are actually out there for them. Because of this, a lot of us have become desperate for female attention. That's why there are so many simps. When they get the slightest bit of attention from a girl, they panic and throw everything they have at her, thinking it will make her like them. Desperation is probably the single most unattractive thing a guy can put off, way more than being average looking or not having much money. I also want to say nice guys finish last. And before anyone gets mad at that, I'm not saying be a dick to girls. That's not what this is about. I'm talking about the specific type of nice guy who thinks that being agreeable, available, and constantly giving compliments is gonna somehow win a girl over through sheer kindness alone. That's not niceness actually working against you. That's just misunderstanding what actually creates attraction. Let's say there are two guys. The first one takes her on expensive dates a couple of times a week. He messages her all the time saying how much he loves her because he truly loves her and is thinking about marrying her. He means every word of it too. This isn't some guy playing games. He's genuinely a good guy with real intentions who just wants to make her happy. And the second guy, he doesn't have much time to take her on dates because he is focused on himself, improving his life, but he still manages to take her on dates here and there. He doesn't have time to message her all the time. He kinda likes her, but not as much as the first guy. His life just has other stuff going on. His business, his gym schedule, his own goals, and she's a part of his life, just not the entire thing. So if I ask you who she would like more, what would you say? The first guy, right? Because he loves her more, takes her on expensive dates all the time. No, she would like the second guy more. Let me tell you why. Girls love attention and validation. It's just human nature. We all want attention and validation to some degree. It's just that women tend to be way more sensitive to where that attention is coming from and how easily it was given. What nice guys do is overly give girls attention and validation. They shower them with compliments all the time. They message them all the time. Good morning texts, good night texts, checking in every hour, commenting on every single photo she posts. When they do that, girls aren't going to value it much. Why? Because they didn't have to earn their attention. Think about it in any other context. If someone hands you something you didn't work for at all, you don't value it the same as something you had to actually earn or wait for. Same principle applies here. If your attention and affection is available unconditionally at all times, there's no scarcity to it. And without scarcity, there's no perceived value. So with the second guy, he didn't have time to message her or give her attention all the time. So when he finally messages her, she is going to value it more because she knows he is focused on improving his life. That message isn't just words on a screen to her at that point. It represents him actually choosing to make time for her out of an already full schedule. And that choice means something completely different than a guy who has nothing else going on and is just messaging her because he's bored and has no other options. Even when they go on a date, she is going to act nicer and more feminine because she values his attention. If you pay attention, you'll notice women tend to put in way more effort, dress up more, act sweeter when they're not entirely sure of where they stand with a guy. The moment they know they have you completely locked in with zero effort required, that behavior tends to shift. I'm not saying you should ignore girls all the time. If you don't show them any attention at all, they aren't gonna know that you like them. This isn't about being nonchalant. Even though being nonchalant can be helpful to some degree, if you overly do it and act completely uninterested, you just come across as confusing rather than attractive. So you should find a balance. The best way to do that is to focus your energy on improving yourself. Build your career, go to the gym, work on your future. You know that stuff. Because here's the thing, when your life is actually full of things that matter to you, you're not artificially holding back attention as some strategy. You genuinely don't have time to be constantly available. And that authenticity comes across completely different than a guy pretending to be busy while secretly waiting by his phone. So when you're working on yourself, you naturally have no time to overly give girls attention. It's not a technique you're performing, it's just a natural byproduct of actually having a life outside of her. And that's exactly the energy that makes women think about you and makes them like you more. Even if you are in a relationship, it's still the same. This doesn't stop applying just because you got the girl. A lot of guys think all this stuff is just for the chase phase. Like once you're official, you can drop all of it and go back to being fully available all the time. That's actually one of the biggest reasons relationships lose their spark. If all you think about is her, you have no goals for the future, and you don't work on yourself, she will get bored with you. She will lose the value she has for your attention slowly, so you have to maintain the value of your attention. This is honestly why you see so many relationships where the guy was this confident, driven person while dating her, and then a year into the relationship, he's turned into this clingy version of himself who dropped the gym, dropped his goals, stopped hanging out with his friends, all because he got comfortable. And that comfort, while it feels nice in the moment, is exactly what kills attraction over time. She fell for the version of you that had a life outside of her. So don't stop being that guy just because you lock things down. Another thing I want to say is don't ever believe what a girl says she wants. They say a thing and do another thing. So focus on what they do. They will say they like men with dad bods, but only date guys with six packs. So don't ask other girls for dating advice. They will just say what sounds nice, what sounds emotionally validating, what sounds good to say out loud in a conversation. They're not going to tell you, be more dominant, don't text back right away, make her chase a little, because that sounds bad coming out of their mouth, even if it's exactly what actually works on them. You know the quote, don't ask the fish how to catch fish, ask the fisherman. Ask guys who are actually successful with women, watch what they do, not what women claim they want in surveys and interviews. Last point I want to mention, looks aren't everything. There are guys who look like Chads that don't get girls. 6'3", jacked, attractive face. You think a guy like that has it made completely. And sometimes they do fine just off looks alone for a while. But I've seen plenty of good-looking guys who are genuinely awkward, come across needy, or just don't know how to hold a conversation. And they struggle just as much as anyone else. Sometimes even more, because they never had to develop the skill of actually talking to women. They just relied on their face doing the work. If you don't know how to talk to girls and understand female nature, you're cooked. Doesn't matter how good looking you are. I'm not saying looks don't matter at all. It does. Don't get it twisted. Looks open doors and get you initial attention faster. But if you don't know how to talk to girls, the moment you open your mouth, they are going to lose all the attraction. So finally, have something going on for yourself. That's honestly the foundation this entire video is built on. Everything else, the balance of attention, the confidence, not being needy, all of that becomes way easier when you actually have a life, goals, and purpose outside of getting a girlfriend. Chasing women becomes your whole personality when you don't have anything else going on, so fix that first before anything else. When you see a girl that you like and when you talk to her, show your intentions. Tell her that you're interested. Don't be vague about it. Don't hint around for weeks hoping she picks up on it. Just be direct. If she likes you back, that's great. But if she says something else, say okay and leave her. Like a masculine guy. Don't beg, don't ask why, don't try to convince her to change her mind. Just accept it calmly and move forward with your day like the rejection didn't break you, because it shouldn't. Don't ever show that you're desperate. That's really the core message running through everything I just said. Desperation kills attraction faster than literally anything else you could do wrong. A girl can forgive an awkward joke, a bad outfit, even a boring date. What she won't find attractive is a guy who makes it obvious he needs her validation to feel okay about himself. Fix that internally first, and everything else, the texting, the dates, the relationship itself, gets so much easier from there. Let me know your stories in the comments. Wish you the best.